Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. Today's video, oh my god, so if you haven't seen these palettes yet, they're so stinking cute. Like, they are absolutely the cutest thing I own in my collection right now, I think. These are 2 out of 6 palettes that BH Cosmetics came out with. I don't know why when I say BH, it sounds like I'm saying bitch, you know, that's just what it sounds like to me. I'm so sorry. But BH came out with 6 new palettes. They're basically like a collection of palettes called the Sweet Shop. So I bought the Cotton Candy palette and the Pistachio palette. So basically they're like ice cream themed palettes, which is super cute. Like, super cute. I actually, now that I got these in my possession, I want to get the other ones, but these were the ones that I saw and I was like, yes, those are me, I'm buying them. The other palette that I wish I got was the blue one, and I don't really know why I didn't get it. Like, I kind of was like, oh, I have the Whale Song palette and I love that palette, so maybe I don't need it. Like, you know, trying to sprinkle some reason in there for some reason. So this is the Cotton Candy palette, and these palettes do retail for $18 each, but I had a decent amount of money off with my Ulta points, so I actually used those, because you can buy these at Ulta. I actually used them and basically got 2 palettes for the price of 1. So I totally should have bought the blue one. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so this is the Cotton Candy palette. Super pretty. Very pink, and like it's like a mixture of pink and purple, which is also like the purple tones kind of have a little bit of blue in them as well. Like, these two look more like periwinkle, but super cute. Well, I guess they only look that way on camera. Honestly, they don't really look that way in person. I mean, they do, but they don't. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, like seeing it in person and also seeing it on the monitor, because the colors can change a little bit. Super cute, more purple and pink, which they do have a more pink-based palette too, but I really liked the fact that you kind of had the best of both worlds in there, so pink and purple, which I think is super cute. And then the Pistachio palette, which is a super me palette. Like, it's a Raeann palette for sure. So super cute artwork. Love the writing on here. Same thing with the Cotton Candy palette. And then look at the majesty. Like, look at majestic. Like, this is majestic. Look at it. Okay. So pretty. I love all of the green shades. I just love green eyeshadow in general, but look at how beautiful this is. Like, definitely loving this one a little bit more than the Cotton Candy palette, but look at this. This shade right here just looks so dreamy. Let's go ahead and get into some swatches. And I did do a poll on my Instagram. This is going to be a shameless plug, so if you don't want to listen to it, just keep going on, I guess. If you don't follow me on there, go ahead and do that. Let's be friends. On my Instagram, I did a poll of what you guys wanted to see with these palettes. So I got these literally the day that I got the email saying they'd been shipped out. I don't even know how that happens, like literally magic. So I got an email in the morning saying like, oh, your order's on the way. And I was like, okay, cool. See you in a couple days. Like, didn't get expedited shipping or anything. And then literally no email following up after that. I go to walk my dog, and it was like later in the evening, about like 7 or something. Go to walk my dog, and I step out on the front porch, and boom, Ulta package. I was like, I almost didn't even know what it was, because it came, like, it literally arrived so fast that I was like not expecting it to be the thing that I got the email for in the morning. So I was like, wait, did I like sleep order something on Ulta and like I didn't even know, you know, like what? So these arrived super quickly, and wow, tangent. So the reason why you should follow me on Instagram is I did a poll basically asking what you guys wanted to see with these palettes. So I did only buy 2 out of the 6 palettes. Obviously we're going to swatch them, but I wanted to know what you guys wanted to see as far as looks go, because my first like thought was, okay, I'll do 1 palette on one eye, 1 palette on the other eye, or I could mix them together and just do a full look so it's cohesive. I didn't really have a preference. I kind of immediately thought like 1 on each eye kind of just made sense, But I decided to do a poll on my Instagram, and it turns out that it's actually pretty close, but like 60% or something wanted, almost 70% wanted one palette on each eye. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the swatches. So let's start with this Cotton Candy palette. I do like how these are kind of evenly matched up too. There's 4 shimmers and 4 mattes, which I can appreciate. So that's the shade Fluff. We'll get into the shade Sugar. Try to get through these fairly fast because we are going to do basically two separate looks. Ooh, that one's really pretty. We have the shade Twirl. Alright, so of course these shimmers are coming out gorgeously. And then for the mattes, we have Confection. Alright, we're a little light, but that didn't seem like it swatched out too bad. Sugar Plum. Not just saying Sugar Plum randomly, that's this shade. Light and Airy. This shade right here. And then Carnival. Okay, so these are the shadows close up. Yeah, those actually swatched out pretty nicely. Very smooth and buttery. Very, very smooth. But yeah, they actually came out pretty nicely. Even the matte swatched out almost effortlessly, so that's always nice when that happens. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these, and then we'll go ahead and swatch the Pistachio palette. We do have a tiny bit of staining, if you can see that. Okay, yeah, you totally can. Tiny bit of staining, but really not that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and get into the Pistachio palette. I'm so excited. Also, my hair is like a million colors right now. I'm going to dye my hair in a couple weeks. My friend's gonna do my hair. And yeah, so I'm kind of letting this do whatever it wants to. So bear with me because my hair is probably gonna look kind of weird, especially in a couple weeks from now, but it is what it is. Alright, so Pistachio palette. Ah, this is so pretty. Okay, so we'll start with Sweet Life. Dessert. Ooh, I want to use that shade for sure. This is the shade Treat. And also this shade here. Oh my god. This is Crunch. Like, that is actually stunning. Holy crap. Ugh. I messed up there. Alright. That's alright. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Then we have our matte shades. So Soft Serve. Shade Guilty Pleasure. Nutty. This one's Nutty. Yeah, that is like a true pistachio color. And Cone or Cup. Boom. Oh, okay. Nice. So that one swatched out kind of, but other than that, everything swatched out really, really nicely. Super smooth. These shimmers look absolutely stunning, and these mattes are swatching out so impressively. Like, sometimes mattes are really hard to swatch out, especially those greens and those blues, but everything swatched out really nicely, other than that darker shade, but honestly, that's still pretty good for a darker green shade, so nothing to be bummed out about. Alright, and there we go. A little bit of staining, but whatever. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do one look on each eye. Ooh, I don't know what to do, because this green eye is probably gonna be very dark, vampy, really. Like, I mean, I guess green isn't really a vampy shade, but maybe we should start with the Cotton Candy one first. Because if I do the Pistachio one first, I'm probably gonna want to just do that on like on both eyes. So, alright, so let's go ahead and start off with Cotton Candy. So I would kind of try to match these up and do something that's gonna kind of look cohesive, like do a similar look on each eye, but the Pistachio palette has the ability to go much darker than this Cotton Candy palette does, so I'm probably not going to be able to match them up as like closely as I'd want to as far as like actual like the structural part of it, so I'm not really even going to try to do that at this point because I just probably won't be able to. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Sugar Plum. I think what I'd like to do is go into Sugar Plum, then this shade, and then this shade. And we're basically gonna do a gradient in our crease. Start with Sugar Plum first. And I already have my eyes primed. Also, this is a new foundation shade for me, so hopefully it kind of looks alright. It's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I just did like a light layer of it. But when I first got that foundation, it's too light now. So I got a darker shade and I'm mixing them. So hopefully this shade looks alright. This is literally the first time of me wearing it. Probably not the best idea to wear this while I'm filming, but you know what? It is what it is. I'll find out real fast if it looks good or not when we edit it. So now we're going to go into Light and Airy. Try to blend the two colors together. This actually looks a little more pink than I thought. Well, definitely blending more pink into that shade for sure. But overall, it actually is a little more pink than I thought. And we're going to go into the shade Carnival. So the more pink shade. I'm gonna try to wing this out a little bit too. Well, I guess there's a tiny bit of contrast between those two shades, but in person they kind of look a little too similar. But as far as like the placement goes, like they're definitely not similar shades, but they're not having as much depth as I want either. I do need to make this purple part a little bit, go up a little bit more. So I'm just gonna follow that kind of wing down. Alright, so let's see. I'm trying to figure out what eyeshadow I want to do. So let's go ahead and go into our NYX glitter primer. I always put just a little bit on the back of my hand and then find a flat brush. And I'm just placing the primer where I want the shadow to go and kind of do like a faux cut crease. I do think I'm going to do like a graphic liner because why not? So I think what I'm going to do is take this Twirl shade and then, let's see, maybe do Twirl, I don't know, let's see, Twirl, I'm gonna do like Twirl this shade and then this shade, I'm not exactly sure. And I'm totally gonna take my finger first. And take my brush and just get it closer to where I want the shadow to go. I'm just gonna gently pat a tiny bit of this shade into the middle, and then we're gonna go over it with the next shade. I was trying to do like an opposite, like mirror kind of thing, like this shade is closer to this shade, so like flip them a little bit. But then I'm gonna go into, I think I want to go into the shade Sugar. So it's this shade right here. Shade is definitely more iridescent than anything. Then I think we're gonna go into the shade Swirl, so this darker shade. I'm gonna take my finger first. I do think I need to add a little bit more of that sugar shade. So I'm just gonna tap that over, swirl. And I'm also gonna go back into twirl, which is that more pink shade, and tap that in here and have it blend it out a little bit better. That way the shades kind of melt in a little bit nicer. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fix this off camera, and I might even actually start the eyeliner off camera and then come back to do something with the under eye, or I might even do that off camera too. Honestly don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna clean this up, make it a little nicer, and then I'll be back. So I am actually gonna finish up the rest of the look on here, but I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. And then, so what we're gonna do, we go into the shade Confection, and I'm hoping this shade isn't gonna be too light. I'm just gonna dip into the shade and then kind of blend out the look a little bit. Well, I already told you guys I want to do graphic liner, but I was thinking of doing graphic liner of the shades that are in, like, to match the what the other eye is gonna look like do green liners on this eye and then pink liners on the other eye. I feel like that'd be fun, but I'm also afraid that that's gonna mess it up. I'm actually kind of liking this look, so I'm really afraid that would mess it up. What do we think? Should I do it? Am I gonna mess it up? No idea. So honestly, what the scariest part of doing this as you go, like, so I know I already explained this before, but I almost always do my looks, like, I always do one look first and then do the other one on camera, and it is kind of scary not doing it that way. So I'm gonna go into Sugar Plum. I think what I'm gonna do is just go Sugar Plum, this one, and do that underneath the eye. Sometimes I like to mix it up and do the kind of opposite effect, but like switch the colors, kind of like how I did in the crease, but I think that would be a little too much, just a little too distracting. I'm gonna go ahead and take a different brush. I feel like sometimes I don't bring my eyeshadow down far enough, so I'm gonna go a little bit further on this one. We'll just clean it up with concealer, so if it looks a little out of hand, I know it does, don't worry. Literally just covering my whole eye bag. So I'm gonna go into Light and Airy. Need to bring that further into the other color as well. It's really covering those eye bags. Okay, then we're gonna go into that pink shade, Carnival. Damn, not like I've been going to the fair the last couple years, but kind of wishing we were actually able to go to the fair this year. Also, I don't know how many of you are not from the United States that watch me, but how, I'm gonna say funny, even though I'm sure it's probably not like funny, but I don't know, I bet it feels nice not being in the United States and just watching us and being like, dear God, what are you guys doing? Especially with the virus and our cheese block in charge. You know, I'm sure we gotta be kind of a funny country to watch because we're a mess. I've been thinking about that recently, like how other countries probably think of us right now. And again, I don't know how many people actually watch me from a different country. I know there are a few of you, but yeah. This is the shade Fluff. We're gonna take that and put that in the inner corner. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like this. Is it extra? Yes. Am I gonna look all sorts funny with the green side of my eye too? You know I am. I don't know what I want to do. This looks already kind of busy. Do I want to add more to it? I mean, is that ever a question? Okay, I have this like bluish shade. Let me go look at my eyeliners. Actually going to do the eyeliner off camera too. Might do a little cute little graphic moment. Gonna do the inner, like a little bit on the inner, and then like a nice graphic. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I love this. Not sure if you guys are feeling the same way, but I guess it might be kind of hard to see the liner in here. Maybe I should bring that down a little bit further. So I've been using the Glam Light, the retro liners that you have to do like with water and the liner. This is only like my second time of ever using it, so I'm not super familiar with the product yet. But I decided to take the lid and put water in there because I needed to keep dipping into water and I didn't want to have to keep going into my actual glass that I'm drinking out of because that's gross, you know, and be drinking a liner at some point. But I forgot that I did that, and there was only a tiny bit of water in here anyways, but I just spilt it all over myself. It's like, oh, that's such a great idea. I'm gonna put water in here. Yeah, I'm not super comfortable with using these liners yet, but this was the only green that I had. I was gonna use the shade Ice Pop, but I used the shade Key Lime because when I matched it, I wanted to do like match it up to what the other shadows in the other palette are like. So that way you have just a little bit more contrast. It pops a little bit more. I could and probably should go back in and kind of add up more eyeliner, but you know, I also might ruin it, so I'm probably just gonna leave it the way it is because I feel like it's good, you know? But I love that little, yeah, I did this because Annette's been doing this a lot with like the little eyeliner in the front part of her eye and then like little graphic kind of wing right here. It looks super cute, so I needed to do it. So I'm basically going to start the other eye now. I don't know if I should do lashes. I always do lashes, but because I'm just like, oh, I don't know, maybe I don't need them, and then, sorry, I cracked my knuckles. That's probably gross for some of you guys. Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry. I know some people that's like a pet peeve, so I'm really sorry if that grossed you out and I don't actually end up deleting it out of the video, but let's go ahead and start with green palette, except I should probably try to mirror, like do a similar look on the other eye, but I really want to use that dark green shade. Why am I slapping my leg? I have no idea. That's the only thing so far that I have to say is that this has that nice dark shade where the Cotton Candy palette doesn't have that. So I feel like this palette already is going to be more versatile because because it has that dark shade. The Cotton Candy palette doesn't have that. I wanted to use that shade, but I feel like next to this, it's gonna look too much. Or do I do it anyways? I'll probably just do it anyways. Okay, so that's the other thing. Like, this has the purple pink tone to it. This is just green. So go ahead and get into this. I used all of the brushes that I would have wanted to use on this on the other eye. Crap. I definitely need more brushes. Like 1,000,000% need more brushes. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the shade Nutty. I'm gonna try to do a similar style on this eye, but we'll see. So starting with the shade Nutty. Why am I not just holding a normal mirror? Okay. So we're gonna go into the shade Guilty Pleasure. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, go in, this will be in the middle part, this will be on the outer part, and then this is gonna blend everything out. Now this look is definitely gonna look a little bit more extreme than the other one, and yeah, I'm using the same brush, but I just used all of my like more domed blending brushes on the other side, and I don't want to marry the colors. Technically, I could clean that, like spot clean them right now, but if the brush is still a little bit wet, sometimes that can mess with the matte shadows, because the matte shadows are like, why is the brush wet? That's literally like, that's exactly what they do. Okay, so ew, this is making me nervous. This part actually legitimately making me nervous. Okay, hopefully this looks good. I want a different brush though, and I'm looking for this specific brush. I hate when that happens. You're looking for this specific brush and you can't find it. Okay, we're gonna go into that dark green shade, Cone or Cup. Gonna take a more angled brush and try to clean this out. Ooh, we're a little patchy. little wing. So I might be randomly kind of talking in like a British accent. Found my way on British TikTok. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. So, just so you guys know. I don't know. It's just harder to do this side because that shade is so dark that like, it's like, oh, that is not looking good. But it's because like, I'm probably doing the same shape as I did on the other eye, but because this is so much darker, it's just looking a little more, trying to get a little bit better of a shape out of that. Really hoping this shadow blends out nice. We're looking real rough. Okay, desperately hoping that this blends out and doesn't look as crazy, but yeah. Okay, since I'm here, I'm actually just gonna start, do I want to start blending this out now? Who knows? You know what? Yeah, sure. We're gonna take the shade Soft Serve, and that's gonna blend all of this out. Hopefully it looks beautiful. I hope. Probably should wait to blend out the end once I've already blended out this, so I don't bring that shade in to the inner part of my eye. Why I'm doing it a little differently on this side, no idea. Need to add that green back in here though. Okay, I'm gonna very carefully do it on the outer part. Okay, we're blending a little bit nicer. Hopefully it'll soften up once I put more makeup on. I mean, I don't really mind the way that it's looking, but in comparison to this side, I do. Okay, so same thing from the other eye, except I totally need to clean off a brush. You know what, just to be safe, I'm gonna use a different brush. That way I don't accidentally get pink on this side. So taking a like glitter primer, dipping my brush into there, patting it down, basically the same thing that I did on the other eye. I actually need to go back into the shade that I first started out with and kind of put that in here. So we're going back into Nutty a little bit. Briefly. There we go. That looks alright. Okay, so what side is my glitter primer on? Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and go into, I'm gonna do Sweet Life and then the outer two shades, so these two right here. And then that dessert shade will be in the inner corner. You know what? I totally want to do this. There we go. Much better. The shimmers will still apply with a brush, but they're definitely a lot more sheer. It's kind of like if you wanted to use it as more of a topper. I feel like you could easily do that. Just lightly dip in with your brush and then kind of tap it, which is not the look that we're going for right now. We want it as fully packed as we can. Trying to make sure I have a decent shape here. I think I need to take a smaller brush and kind of get in. The other eye came out a little bit cleaner. Okay, that shimmer is really pretty though. Okay, so from there, like I said, we're gonna dip into the color Treat. Oh my god. Not to flip you off or anything, but yeah. So just trying to make sure that these two get a nice blend and that we're following that out a little bit further so it can blend into the next shade better. It actually looks pretty good. Let me take a little bit of it on my flat brush, just kind of pat it down, and then I'm going to take a little bit of Sweet Life. Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. But we're going to go into that darker green shimmer. Oh my god, that is so pretty. So it's the shade Crunch. I just want to smear this all over my eyeballs. All over. That is so pretty. I love it. I love you. Alright, so I am losing treat a little bit, so boom. Put that right back in there. I actually love this. Okay. Not bad. Okay, so basically doing the same thing like we did on the other eye. You know what though? I'm actually gonna take I'm gonna take Soft Serve, have that one be first. Or, I need to put Soft Serve back in here. You know what? No, I'm just gonna, yeah. Crap, I can't make up my mind. Soft Serve is gonna go first. Need to bring that down a little bit. Alright. I'm gonna go into Guilty Pleasure. And you know what? I'm actually going to extend Guilty Pleasure and then go into Nutty. And to deepen it up just a tiny bit, I am going to go into the darker green shade, so Cone or Cup. And then that's just going to go right in here. Let's see. I'm going to take Soft Serve. And just kind of clean that up a little bit. That shade does look like it's kind of bleeding a little bit, but what are we gonna do? No idea. I do like this though. It's a little drastic, but it's not like it's a drastic. I'm gonna go ahead and get my pink liner and do basically the same whoop. And then, yeah, actually I'll finish up the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back. I need to do the inner, or the waterline too. Okay, I'll be back once everything is done and then we can go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so this is the finished look, or looks. Let's go ahead and talk about these. First of all, this one, yes, absolutely. I mean, okay, I like this eye too. Don't get me wrong, I do like it, but the greens on this are amazing. It's so like interesting seeing the two because I feel like this one makes my eye look way larger than this eye looks. But overall, the looks, let's just talk about the looks first. So I do like both of them. I really do like the kind of alternating of the colors. My waterline, I did a green, and then on this side I did a pink. I don't know, it might have started kind of washing off a little bit because my eyes do get pretty like watery. So the one thing that I like about this look a little bit more is that since it was like cotton candy, they did incorporate more of a pink and purple tone like to the palette overall, so it is more of a two-tone palette versus just being monochromatic. I do love monochromatic palettes though, so you know, it doesn't like, I guess as far as the video goes, I kind of wish I had a little bit more to work with on this side to make it look more similar to this side, if that makes sense. But overall, this Pistachio palette is just a green palette where the cotton candy one is a little bit of both. That's why this eye looks a little bit different and has a little more of a gradient because it does have two colors in it versus just being one color overall. But I really wish I bought the blue palette because I feel like I probably would have liked that one a little bit more than the cotton candy one. I don't know, I love me a good blue palette, but when I looked at it, I was just like, you know, I don't know. I looked at that and I thought of the Whale Song palette and I was just like, do I really need it? By the way, if you get the Whale Song palette, or if you have Whale Song and you also get the blue palette, you should do a video comparing the two. Please, thank you. Yes. Okay, so I don't know where I was going with that, but I kind of wish I got the blue one. I probably would have, I think I would still keep the cotton candy palette, but I do wish I got the blue one, but I probably won't be getting it just because I do have Whale Song and the palettes are $18. I honestly don't, I think I said that earlier in the video, I don't remember. So I probably won't be buying the blue one, but I kind of wish I did because I feel like I would have really enjoyed it and it probably would have been a beautiful palette. So let's just talk about the quality real fast. As far as the shimmers go, at least from what I noticed, I felt like they were applying better with my finger. Honestly, I really feel that way about most shimmers though. I just like the way they apply with my fingers. So if that's a little repetitive, that's, you know, it's just how I apply my shimmers, and I really prefer that way. But when I was applying them with a brush, I just didn't feel like they packed as much of a punch with the brush, and it felt really like sheer, but maybe I just didn't put enough shimmer on there, so who knows. It'll be interesting to see what other people say about the shimmer formula who do like to apply with a brush, because again, that's not usually my thing. I am a finger applier with shimmers. So I don't know, from my experience, what I did see using a brush, I wasn't super impressed with the way that the shimmers were applying with a brush, but with a finger, they were really good. Like, I really enjoyed the shimmers. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, especially the greens on here, that darker green one. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like the shimmers are really pretty. Again, I would recommend applying with your finger, but it's kind of up to you, and kind of, it'll be whatever you think is best. But when I used a brush, it just didn't feel the same, you know? Like, I definitely feel like the shimmers in this palette are definitely better applied with your finger. So that's one thing. I felt like the mattes were actually really easy to work with. They were pretty, like, you could build them up pretty well. I did feel like the darker green was definitely patchy and harder to work with. That is kind of something that's not super surprising to me, because the darker mattes, like darker blue and green mattes, can just be that way. So knowing that, I'm not like disappointed in the shade at all, but it is something to kind of know, is that you might want to just kind of tiptoe around that shade and really pay attention to just how it's looking and building it up and making sure that it's, for some reason on here, it just felt like it was bleeding a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, it just, you know, it just applied a little patchy, and I felt like I had to build it up a little bit. But overall, that's kind of my only negative with this palette. I do think that the shade is something that I could still work with, and it is a darker, like, green matte shade. So again, it's not something super surprising. I feel like a lot of darker green and blues kind of are a little difficult to work with. So, you know, that isn't something like super new to me, I guess, is what I'm looking for. I don't know, but that is just something to be aware of. You know what? I totally forgot to add a shimmer on this side. I said I was going to do dessert in the inner corners. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in there. There we go. Now I'm complete. Why I forgot to do that, I have no idea. How I forgot to do that, no idea. But yeah, that was the only shade I really had any problems with. Everything else was super easy to work with, very easy to build up and blend out. I didn't mention this earlier, but I actually don't own any other BH Cosmetics palettes. The only time I've ever used them was literally years ago, and it was a palette that wasn't even mine. It was like my friend's sister's palette that got left at my house, and I like used it one day, and I honestly don't even remember what I thought about that, but it was literally forever ago. So that was my only kind of impression on their palettes. So for this being my first BH like purchase, I'm actually really impressed. Like, I really liked the quality of this. Like, for overall, I actually really liked these palettes. I would love to buy more. Like, I honestly would buy all of them. Like, I would buy them all. But of course, looking at the other color schemes, they weren't really anything that I really needed that I didn't already have. Just like putting it out there, if I had like an unlimited income, for sure would buy them all. I would buy them all. So yeah, so far pretty impressed with these. I don't really have any other like negative or constructive things to say about it. Like, the mattes were really easy to blend out and build up. I feel like both of these looks look really nice. Like, the shimmers applied beautifully with my finger. Again, that's just something that I need to tell you guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually pretty impressed with these. I really wish I'm just gonna say this again, but I really wish I could have bought them all, because I really would have. Like, I definitely would have bought them all. I want that blue one now. Will I buy it? Maybe if I get more points from Ulta soon, like if I can save up enough points, I'll buy it. But yeah, so far I'm really impressed by these. I really like them. They're so cute, so pretty, like, and I do like that even though they're a monochromatic palette, they're a pretty decent size. Like, this is a pretty good size for a palette. Usually when you get those, they're more of along the lines of the Profusion ones, which are a little bit smaller, and the ColourPop ones. So these are a pretty good size for being a monochromatic palette. Like, this is a standard, really it's just a standard palette size at this point. Like, so I can appreciate that. I do like that. And how many shades are there? Is there 10? No, there's 8 shades in both, so I feel like that's a good amount too. Again, with the Cotton Candy palette, I kind of wish there was a little bit of a darker shade to kind of, you know, just deepen the look up a little bit, but because it is split between the two colors, like a more pink and purple vibe with it, I understand why there isn't a darker shade, but I kind of wish there was, because in reality you would have probably had to do a darker shade of the purple and then a darker like pink. Well, I guess hold on, I need to look at this before I like just spew out words. Yeah, I understand why there isn't a darker shade in here, but I do kind of wish there was. I'm kind of trying to think of like a shade in here that I would replace. But I mean, I guess it would probably be one of the 2 middle shades, you know, just take one of them out, make a darker shade, or maybe take one of these out and make a darker shade. It would probably be this one then, because this is a little bit more of a purpley shade, so maybe I would have taken that one out and made it a darker shade. But that's kind of my only constructive thing to say about that palette, is I wish there was a little bit of a deeper shade. But I mean, can I live without it? Yeah, I can live without a darker shade in that palette. But that's what I really appreciate about the Pistachio one, is that it does have this nice dark shade that I can really intensify a look, and I don't have that in this one. But again, the Cotton Candy palette is more of, it's a different vibe than being able to deepen up a look, you know? Like, the Cotton Candy is light and airy, so that's why you're gonna have the pink and purple, so it makes sense. But I kind of wish I had a darker shade. Do I have one I could use? Absolutely. So again, it's like, yeah, neither here or there. It's just like, yeah, like, would have liked a darker shade, but I guess I can live without it, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself off there so I don't ramble on for a million years. I do have other things to film today, so I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And again, a reminder, follow me on Instagram if you want any input on how I film things and everything, because I don't know if I would have done this way if it wasn't for my Instagram poll. So make sure you follow me on there, and again, subscribe to me here so you can see more videos like this, and let's be friends. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye. I'm so awkward, but I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you later.